Hey, this is Dr. July, Dr. William July, continuing the tour of quick intros to using myclinicalwriter.ai. I am the co developer of myclinicalwriter.ai. I am a clinical psychologist, and I'm going to continue the tour with you. And I say continue the tour because I would hope that you have taken a look at the smart text video. If you haven't, I strongly suggest that you go back, look at the smart text video before you look at smart dictate. Smart dictate's a little more advanced. Smart text simply uses the notes that you upload or type in, matches them with a template that you have created or selected, and then creates your reports or your notes from that. Smart text does not listen to your conversation. Now we're going to use smart dictate. So we go to Smart Dictate. Smart Dictate is going to listen in on your conversation. Imagine it sitting there in the room with you. It is actually listening. It is going to listen, take notes, compile all those notes, and then create a keynote, what we call a keynote. And you can take that keynote and plug it into any type of template that you want and generate a report that way. So you do want to have your client or patient sign an appropriate consent agreement because you're recording them. By the way, you can delete these recordings immediately after the session if you want. We do have this HIPAA compliant app set up to provide the appropriate privacy. And there's also a BAA that you will have consented to when you start using the app because it will it will prompt you to agree to the BAA. So we go down to the client and patient information. I'm going to go ahead and start recording now, just so you can see it. Um, so that's what happens when you record. It lets you know that the recording is in progress. You can enter the name of the before you start recording. You can enter the name of the client. You can enter the age of the patient. You can enter the gender identity if they want to identify. You can also use a personal pronoun selection there as well. What happens then is you just do your interview. Now you're 100% focused on the client, 100% focused on this patient. You do not have to take notes at all. I tend to take some notes anyway because I'm just trained that way and it's a habit. And it's nice to have that backup because they may say something that I want to add in that the AI doesn't report maybe exactly the way I wanted it to. So I'll take some notes anyway, just as a backup. But I'm freed up from not really. I can really focus a lot more on the interaction with the client. What happens after that? You finish the interview. The click stop. My clinical writer will prompt you to ask if you're sure you want to stop, and then you say yes. Now it starts generating a transcript. Now, what I just did was a sample. It's not going to actually generate a real transcript because I didn't speak long enough. There wasn't enough information, and I didn't have any clinical discussion. But I'm going to go to my favorite patient, the 40 the 47-year-old patient who has presented, and I use this same fictitious patient in smart text to demonstrate smart text. I can actually copy this. This is the keynote, what we call the keynote. I can copy this, or I can click download and get a docx and download that docx. Now, this is the next part is why you need to go to smart text first. You go to smart text, pick a template. Since I did a basic report template last time, I'm going to pick Soap Note this time. So you click Soap Note, and then you paste in your notes down here, or you navigate to that file on your system by clicking Choose File. And the same process, this is the same process as this smart text video. Then you click Submit, and it's going to create that note for you. Um, and from here, it's just like the smart text video. So the only difference is that the keynote is generated in smart dictate from it listening to you. Here's an advanced user trick as well. You can also open up, say, an intake form and dictate that into Smart Dictate, and then choose a template. And that can also be used to start your notes or start your reports. And then of course, when you generate that keynote, you can go back and add information in. You can also insert commands. We'll put up an advanced user trick and tip video later, but you can also insert commands into the keynote or any note output that you get. You can always insert commands and then run it again. So great tool. But if you're not comfortable with the idea of being recorded, or your patient or client is not comfortable with that, don't use Smart Dictate, just use Smart Text. Give it a try. It's really another great tool and a lot of good uses that you can have for it through this using this process.